Peter's asleep. Judas is betrayed. But Sunday's coming. It's Friday. Pilate's struggling. The council is conspiring. The crowd is vilified. They don't even know that Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The disciples are running like sheep without a shepherd. Mary's crying. Peter is denied. But they don't know that Sundays are coming. It's Friday. The Romans beat my Jesus. They rolled him in scarlet. They crowned him with thorns. But they don't know that Sunday's coming. It's Friday. See Jesus walking to Calvary. His blood dripping. His body stumbling. And his spirit's burdened. But you see, it's only Friday. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The world's winning. People are sinning. And evil's grinning. It's Friday. The soldiers nailed my Savior's hands to the cross. They nailed my Savior's feet to the cross. And then they raised him up next to criminals. It's Friday. But let me tell you something. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The disciples are questioning what has happened to their king. And the Pharisees are celebrating that their scheming has been achieved. But they don't know it's only Friday. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. He's hanging on the cross. Healing forsaken by his Father. Left alone and dying. Can nobody save him? Oh, it's Friday. But Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The earth trembles. The sky grows dark. My King yields his spirit. It's Friday. Hope is lost. Death has won. Sin has conquered. And Satan's just a lamb. It's Friday. Jesus is buried. A soldier stands guard. And a rock is rolled into place. But it's Friday. It is only Friday. Sunday is a coming.
Ain't that wonderful? We found that for, yeah. Praise the Lord. We found that, those lyrics online there. What an awesome way to bring us into Easter Sunday, because if you think about it, that's an exciting comeback. I mean, Christ, on this particular day, this was the greatest unleashing of power on the planet has ever seen. And so I kept on thinking of comebacks. I mean, when all was despair, things happened on Friday. You want to talk about despair on Saturday, Sunday's coming. Amen. But no one knew that like we know it. Right. And so you can only relate with them and the things. They were afraid, they were scared. So I'm thinking, what about Easter? We're talking about major comebacks here. And what kind of comebacks does the cross and this resurrection give us? So I want to talk to you this morning briefly about 4 comebacks that Christ gives me. You know, because Christ lives, we can live. Because Christ came back, you can come back. You see, a lot of people think that they cannot darken the doors of a church because of their past. And that's exactly what I'm trying to address today. That's a lie from hell. Because that's saying that the work on the cross was not complete, but it is. It's complete. It see, when you walk through the door, you have to understand that Jesus already made the greatest comeback in history. He came back from the dead. And He led captivity captive. He took the keys to death, hell, and the grave, so that you do not have to stay in the grave. But He is the first fruits of the resurrection, and you will be resurrected as well in that coming great day. So I ask for you, let's look at 4 great comebacks that Jesus provides. In Matthew, I can come back from despair because of the resurrection. I can come back from despair. I don't care what my life is or what it's been through. I can come back from it. You know, in America, there's more and more people are struggling with hopelessness, despair, and deep discouragement. There's hundreds of people contemplating suicide and doing something harmful to themselves or other people because of this very thing of despair. They're asking, how do you bounce back in this culture? How do you bounce back in this economy? How do you bounce back from losing your house? And how do you bounce back from losing your marriage? How do you bounce back from living or losing a loved one? How do you bounce back from a broken relationship with your kids? How do you bounce back from losing someone you deeply cared about? In other words, how do you bounce back from all those things? In America, we thought we could count on the economy, but we can't. We thought we could count on employment, but not always. We thought we could count on the government being brilliant or bailing us out, but people are learning different. Americans are wondering, is there anything you can count on when you've discovered you can't count on anything? Is there any foundation, any solid foundation enough to hold my life so it can't be taken away? Matthew paints this picture of people in despair by introducing us to some deeply discouraged people. In Matthew 27, he says, Joseph took the body, wrapped it in the clean linen clothes, and he placed it in his own new tomb that he had cut out of the rock. And he rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting there opposite the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary were sitting around in a graveyard, staring at a grave. That's discouraging. Some of you have lost loved ones this year, some very recently. And we could be busy, occupied in despair. The devil would love that. Or we could be busy living for Jesus. Then the next morning comes for Mary Magdalene and Mary. They say, let's go look at the grave some more today. Once more, they head to the graveyard. They're not looking for Jesus. In their mind, they believe He's buried behind the tomb in the grave. They're not expecting anything. They're totally hopeless. You see, they came to put spices and everything to prepare the body of Jesus. They didn't expect not to find Him. So their hopelessness, their sorrow, their despair, it traveled with them. You see, a lot of people come into church like that. They don't come here to meet Jesus or expect to meet Him. They come here to experience, hopefully, good fellowship, a good message, and how you do, and off you go. And I say, since we have the whole story here, I say we need to become people who come expecting to experience Jesus. So that dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. And there was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. And the angel said to the woman, do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. And they have to tell him, He is not here, He is risen just as he said. Now here's the message that replaces despair with hope. The angel said, he is not here. He is risen just as he said. See, Jesus promises things in the Scriptures. And as we look around us in the world today, we're seeing a lot of despair. We're seeing, why don't Jesus come now? The thing that you need to hold on to is, one, your faith. Don't sink with the ship that's sinking. What you need to hold on to is the promise that Christ says, I will return. Yes. And when I return, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. Yes. So all the doubters, all the haters will come to one conclusion, and that is, Jesus is in fact alive and well. Amen. The second thing is that I can receive a comeback on this resurrection is what Mark says. He says, I can come back from defeat. Mark says I can come back from defeat. Watch this movie clip.
Please, just walk a little farther. Why? To be closer. Simon, do you love me?
Yes, you know that I do.
Do you love me?
Yes,
Simon, do you love me?
with all my heart.
And you must feed my nerves.
You know, in the book of Mark, we learn that because of the resurrection, defeat is not the end. You can come back from defeat. It seems like a lot of things are shaking around us and things happen. We wonder what the next day is going to hold. I hope you understand that the resurrection was a great comeback from what seemed like defeat. You know, a young mother had two rambunctious type kids. They were like terrorized the town kind of boys. 8 years old and one 10 years old. Their reputation got to the point where the mother thought, anything that bad happens in our town, my sons had probably something to do with it. Well, a new pastor moved into town, and she heard he was good with kids, so she met with him and said, listen, I can't do anything with my kids. Can you take a shot at them? He said he would, and he asked their ages, and then he said, send your 8-year-old first tomorrow morning. Then I'll see your 10-year-old later that afternoon. The next morning, she sent her 8-year-old to the pastor. He went into the pastor's study and sat down, and the kid was a little bit nervous, you could tell. The pastor was kind of like a big guy with a deep voice. And he came in and he said to the kid sternly, he said, young man, where is God? And the little kid's jaw kind of dropped. And he didn't say anything. So the clergyman said, even more sternly, with a bigger voice, young man, I said, where is God? And this kid's eyes got really big, and he sat there frozen. He didn't know what to do. So the clergy got up, and towering over over this kid, he shook his finger in his face. He said, young man, where is God? And the little boy screamed and ran out the pastor's office. And he ran all the way home and ran into his house and ran to his living room, ran to the bedroom, opened up his closet door, shut the closet door, dove right into the deepest pile of clothes he could find, covered it up, closed the door. His 10-year-old brother came in after seeing the flash of his brother go through. He opened the closet and said, what happened? And the little brother said, man, we're in big trouble now. God is missing and they think we did it. Peter, if there was anybody familiar If there was anybody familiar with defeat, it was Peter. And you've seen in the movie clip where Jesus had to really drive home, Peter, do you love me? Yes, I love you, Lord. Feed my sheep. Peter was also the guy, after all this, that denied Christ 3 times. Denied Christ 3 times. Did you hear what I said? Publicly denied Christ 3 times. You and I might do that in our private life. If you know what I mean. But to stand in a group of people and say, I don't know the man. Jesus, I don't know. This was a man who spent day and night with Christ. This was the same man that says, Lord, I'll never deny you. I'll die for you. This is the same man. And you want to talk about a man who felt defeated. When that cock crowed 3 times, he realized the errors of his way. And the Bible says that after he got done grieving, after he got come to his senses, that there was a time of sorrow, of repenting, if you will. Peter jumped back in the boat. I mean, he went out and started being a part of Christ's family. He started doing and living out what it meant. Peter, do you love me? Yeah. Feed my sheep. Sometimes God has to knock on this hard head more than once to get a message across. You know, the third thing that I can come back, Luke says I can come back from doubt. You can look around, you can look into politics, you can look at the what's going on criminal crime-wise, and maybe it's right down the road from you, all the immorality and ethical things happening. And it's easy to doubt. You know, just as you can bounce back from despair and defeat, you can bounce back from doubt. Luke is the gospel written to the Greeks. And the Greeks were known to be philosophers, and so Luke was writing to thinkers and skeptics and doubters. Luke put it this way in Luke 24. He says, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen." Some of us are wired to be skeptical, to question everything. If this is your first time here at church, you might be surprised to find that there are people sitting all the way around us that at one point in their life maybe have been atheists, agnostics, or other religions. They maybe thought that the Bible was full of myths and legends and misconceptions and errors. But you see, everybody needs a personal relationship with Christ. It was when those prideful knees turned into humble knees, and they bowed and they submitted over, that they really experienced Christ. You see, if I could take my heart out and give it to someone who was skeptical about Christ and His forgiveness and everything, I would, but I can't. This is the reason, based upon your actions and your decisions, you will be the only reason you go to heaven or hell. It's by the decisions that you make. You can't say the pastor didn't preach the right message or they didn't play the right song. It has to be a personal relationship with Christ. You know, we see in the Scriptures, when Luke recorded about Jesus, it says, while they were still talking about this, Jesus Himself stood among them. This was after He rose again from the dead. That they were doubting and everything around them. So there they were, standing, talking, and here's Jesus. Jesus Himself stood among them, and He said to them, "Peace be with you." They were startled and frightened, thinking that they just saw a ghost. And He said to them, "Why are you troubled? And why do doubts rise in your minds? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself. Touch me and see. A ghost does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have." When He had said this, He showed them His hands and feet, and while they still did not believe it because of joy and amazement, He asked them, "Do you have anything here to eat?" They gave Him a piece of boiled fish, and He And he took it and he ate in their presence. And he said to them, "This is what I told you while I was still with you. Everything must be," what? Fulfilled. "That is written about me in the law of Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms."
Amen.
Everything must be fulfilled that was written in the law of Moses. You see, as much as we'd rather have Christ come back right now, but I believe the reason He doesn't is because His love and mercy and His grace is saving that enough, just that one more soul, that two more souls, or however many souls, somewhere. It's another opportunity to get someone closer to the Lord. The last comeback that we talk about this morning is through John, the book of John. He says, "I can come back from death." You know, finally, because of the resurrection, we can come back from death itself. There is an old joke. Three guys are talking about what they want. Three guys are talking about what they want said at their funerals. The first guy says, "I want them to say, you know, he was a great guy." The second guy says, "I want them to say, he was a wonderful husband and a great dad." And the third guy says, "You know, I want them to say, hey, look, he's moving." How does life after death work? Look how Jesus says it in John chapter 11. Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live." Hey, that's present. That's not past or future. A little bit of future. But that is definitely present tense. Even though they die, and whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? And this is a challenge for you. Jesus said to her, as He's saying to you right now, "I am the resurrection and the life." What things, if you're not dead, what can He resurrect? Your relationship? Your social relationships? He can plug in your relationship with Him, and you become on fire for Christ. You could go out there and start saving souls yourself. You could volunteer for the youth ministry. You can get involved in the community. You can start experiencing Christ on a personal level. He will resurrect all kinds of things in you that has been dead for quite some time. And so as we close this morning, will you stand with me? I'd like you to close your eyes and bow your head. Close your eyes and bow your head. Full stomach. Don't fall asleep. Close your eyes and bow your heads. Jesus Christ, He says, "I am the resurrection and the life." And it will be a shame for you not to allow the resurrection to impact your life. No matter how you walked in here this morning or what your background is, this I do know. That example after example, murderers, prostitutes, and you name it, Jesus was there. Jesus forgave. There was nothing. The only thing standing in the way between you and Jesus is you. Jesus is open armed, waiting for you. I'd like us all to repeat this prayer, if you will. Repeat after me. Dear God, we thank you for sending your Son, Jesus Christ, to this earth. I believe Jesus was who He said He was. And He proved it by rising from the dead. Now I want to discover and begin following your plan and your purpose for my life. Now I want to get to know you personally. And thank you, Jesus, for dying for me and forgiving me of all my sins. I receive you as my Lord and Savior. Thank you for your free gift of eternal life. We believe if you said that prayer that you began your personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And we encourage you as the song plays Pastor Rick and Elder Plum. We're going to be up here, and other people will be up here willing to pray with you. Should be, if you want to come up. But during this next song, you can come up and solidify that relationship. Amen.
Every word that you speak, I need you.